unlearning something. So a lot of times when someone contradicts your what you've learned or what you've experienced or what you slipped into, when someone brings a conflicting thought, you get defensive. You're like, oh, you're stupid, you dumb face head. Don't call me dumb face head. Slow your roll and just pocket that one and listen to what the Word of God has to say. And I promise you, if you have ears to hear, God's going to bring some great revelation. And if you can love well, you are going to be a much, much more influential, impactful, and amazing you. 3 different Greek translations of the word love. And so when you see the word love in the New Testament, it's not necessarily just love, this big blanket thing. It's a couple of different possible definitions. I gave those 3. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here again, but I'm going to touch on these. The first one I mentioned was phileo. Throw the slide up. Everybody say phileo. Now, phileo is brotherly love, friendship love. Now, strictly defined, if you peel back all the layers, it's really not love, it's like. Eros. How many of you guys remember Eros? This is the bow chicka wow wow love. This is the love, right? What was that? Sexual, romantic, emotional, high octane, butterflies. This is the thing that young girls swoon over. This is what they shoot at Bieber, like arrows. But if we don't do that, then we're subject to the same fate as everybody else. You guys with me? So love is not an emotion, then what the heck is it? Well, first of all, let me say this. 1 Corinthians 13 goes through the definition of agape, which agape is the third kind of love. That is unconditional, that is sacrificial. This is the love that God has for us. This is the love that is defined, 1 Corinthians 13. Love is patient, love is kind, love is not self-seeking. This is foundational. This is what we build our lives on, right? The Word of God. You build your life on this. Auto-tune my voice. You do that, and all of a sudden you got love. Now listen, the reason the Bible never mentions eros is because if that happens, if you do lock in and you fall in love with something that is emotional, whether it's, let's face it, it's lust. If it's not love, what is it? It's lust. There's no middle ground here. If it's not love, it's lust, right? And it may not be lust of the eyes. It may be lust of the emotions, emotional lust. And maybe you sit there and fantasize about the idea of. It's an emotional lust, or it's a physical lust, like, right? So if it's not love, it's lust. So if we're saying that if we build a relationship on lust, it's got a shelf life. It will not last. So if you fell in love with the idea, let me tell you something. The idea and the reality are 2 very different things. He's perfect. No, he's not. He's not. But she's gorgeous. She might not be in about 2 years. Aw. I'm being serious. There's all these stories of beauty queens who, through whatever course, they got kicked in the face by a donkey. And their face was never the same. Or some glandular disorder develops, and all of a sudden they're 911 pounds. Don't laugh at them. You're like, I had no idea. I thought I married a supermodel, but I woke up next to a walrus. Do you guys remember Super Friends? Xana and Jaina? Form of a sea cow. Ah! I love you. Oh, God. Sir, where's my wife? So it doesn't last. There's always, now, why is the divorce rate 51% in America? Because this is we've relegated love to this little surfacey, shallow, superficial emotion. Let me tell you something. Newsflash. Love is not an emotion. It is not an emotion. And people are like, I can't help how I feel. Okay. You can, but if you base your decision to love on your feelings ebb and flow. Feelings come and go. You're going to have days where you just don't feel lovable, or you don't feel loving, or the feelings might change. You're obsessed with somebody, and then all of a sudden you're obsessed with their best friend. People cheat on their spouses because they fell out of love and fell in love with somebody else. That's lust. Don't call it that. So what I want to do tonight is our Nation Generation Church, is reclaim the word love and put the proper definition behind it. Because if we can do that, then we can love well.